Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Lisa. I produce beauty-related content here on YouTube, mostly makeup reviews, tutorials, first impressions, beauty chit-chat, favorite things, all that good stuff. I also have a blog, madeupmom.com, where I share a lot of the content that I post here on YouTube, but also other content in regards to kids and health products and family products and just things about my life in general. So I hope you'll stop over there. Today I'm going to be reviewing or demoing, or actually this is really a first impression, I guess technically, because I haven't used this yet, the new Revlon Youth FX Fill and Blur Foundation. I picked this up last week at the grocery store. I haven't heard anything about it. I was just wandering by the grocery store makeup aisle and I saw this was new. And so I decided I would pick it up and demo this on camera and let you guys know what I think. I also picked up the concealer that goes with it, which is the Revlon Youth FX Fill and Blur Concealer. So let's go ahead and apply this makeup and see what we think. I do have everything on except foundation and concealer and blush and all of that, which I'll do afterwards. I did moisturize my skin already, so it's nice and kind of tacky. It has had time to absorb into my skin. So I did not apply a primer. I really want to see how this foundation wears on its own. Okay, a little bit about this foundation. I am in the shade 210 Sand Beige. Well, I shouldn't say that I'm in that shade because I'm not sure if this is going to match or not, but that's the shade that I bought, so let's hope that it works. The whole thing about this foundation is it's marketed as a age-defying foundation, so it's supposed to dramatically transform the appearance of lines and wrinkles. It's a fill and blur foundation, so it's basically supposed to fill in any texture that you have on your skin, kind of blur, smooth everything out. Its whole kind of shtick is that it is anti-aging looking. So I don't really know that it actually has anti-aging properties or ingredients in it that's going to like reverse the signs of aging, but it's basically going to make you up to look like, to make your skin look more youthful. Does that make sense? It does have an SPF of 20, so that's good. I forget how much I paid for it, but I'll look it up and I'll just insert that with a little graphic here on the video. It comes in a little squeeze tube like this. You do get 1 ounce, which is pretty standard for foundations. I brought a beauty blender and I also brought a brush to apply it. So we're gonna do one side with beauty blender, one side with a brush to see which application is best. Okay, so let's start with the beauty blender first. I'm gonna just open the tube and I'm just gonna squeeze a little bit on my hand and see how thick it is. It actually is pretty thick, you guys. It does not come out easily. Well, it's not difficult, but it doesn't just come out real liquidy. You do have to squeeze it to get that out. It's a thick, thick cream. You can see that it's really not doing anything. It's not moving off of my hand at all. I mean, I can kind of turn my hand upside down and the product's not gonna fall. It's really stuck like putty on there. So it is a thicker foundation. The coverage on this is... Okay, so I do want to read you a little bit of more information off of Revlon's website. It says it instantly erases the appearance of dark spots, age spots, and hyperpigmentation, so it sounds like it's a pretty full coverage foundation. It comes in, do they have 12? They have 12 shades here on their website. It says it's a lightweight, hydrating formula. It works to fill in and blur lines and wrinkles with micro fillers and optical diffusers. As the appearance of lines and wrinkles are smooth, this high coverage foundation erases the look of uneven tone, age spots, and hyperpigmentation. Okay, so sounds like it should be pretty full coverage. It definitely looks like full coverage because it is pretty thick. I am going to actually, ooh, it is very thick. It's really thick and kind of whipped. I'm going to use my finger to apply it, just so that I can kind of spread it out pretty well, because I feel like it is thick enough to where it needs a little assistance spreading it out. Otherwise, I would just have to use a ton to get my beauty blender to blend it all in. Okay, and then I'm just going to go and use my beauty blender to press this into my skin. So it doesn't feel heavy at all. It does feel pretty light. Even though it is thick, it does not feel heavy. I would say the coverage off the bat is not full, medium. I can still see my skin through it, but it does a good job of evening my skin tone out. I'm gonna build a little more to cover in the center here, cover my nose. I'm gonna get some more for my forehead. All right, let me see how it does when I just use my beauty blender to grab it and apply it. I'll do that on my forehead. Let me just blend this out. It does look very hydrating, so it does have a glow, in my opinion. It makes my skin look really moist. I have this little guy that showed up the other day. Let's see if he'll cover that. Okay, so my first impression and opinion is that it's a little too dewy for my taste. It's like very dewy all over, which, I mean, I'm just now applying it, so I'm kind of concerned about how it's going to look in a couple of hours. I would not call this a full coverage foundation. Definitely not a full coverage. I would say that it's natural to medium. I don't think that it covers up everything. I mean, I can still see these little brown spots and hyperpigmentation. I mean, it's not, it did a good job of evening out my skin tone so that it's all one tone, but the things that need more coverage, I mean, they're definitely still poking through. Okay, so let's go and try the other side with the brush. I hope my lighting looks like it's gotten a little weird. I think the sun is moving. I have a window to the right of me, where before I was positioned to the window was facing me with the way that I had my background set up before. So I guess when the sun changes, it's going to affect the lighting. I'll have to play around with that. So to me, this has the same kind of finish as like a BB cream or a CC cream. It doesn't really look like a foundation to me. It looks like a tinted moisturizer with decent coverage. That's how I would describe this if I had to like just go off my first impression of it. I think the shade is pretty good. I mean, it's a little lighter than my body right now, but I do have self tanner on and it's not my normal shade. So, and I always like to go a little bit lighter on my face anyways and just bronze up. Okay. So I don't know about this. I'm not really liking the way that it looks. I feel like I look really shiny. And I actually feel like it kind of magnifies all the flaws that, like it doesn't make I don't think that it makes me look really smooth. I feel like it kind of emphasizes like the small peach fuzz on my face. I'm not really a fan. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so I don't like the way that this looks at all. It looks really shiny to me. I feel like my pores are even more magnified. I feel like it's already building up around my nose and it's been on for like 5 minutes. I'm going to apply the concealer now and see what we think about that. Okay, so this concealer says it also is a fill and blur concealer. It corrects the appearance of dark circles, lines, and wrinkles, which is what most concealers should do. It comes in a little pin. It kind of has that little sponge tip, almost like the Age Rewind, which I really do love. But this is different. Instead of twisting the top up like you do with the Age Rewind, you just press this like a little pin. I got the shade Light Medium. I like my concealers to be a little bit lighter. Okay, so when you first get these, you kind of have to like really load them up the first time and pump several times. So I do like the size of it. That's my only complaint with the Age Rewind is I feel like the sponge is too big. I feel like this is more precise and controllable. So let's see what we think. I like the size of this really well. I think it's perfect, especially to get in the inner corner here. Why can't I talk? I feel like it's perfect to get in the inner corner here. The Age Rewind is so big that if you're trying to conceal the inner corner, it's kind of difficult and you can kind of make a mess with it. This has a much better sized tip. And if you like to highlight up here, you can do that as well. Okay, so I like the color of this. I like the shade. I'm going to use my Beauty Blender to blend this out. I always use my Beauty Blender for concealer. For me, using a Beauty Blender is the best way to get the most coverage, but have the most natural finish, and also to set your concealer so that it doesn't crease or move around throughout the day. I feel like it really works the product into the skin, where sometimes a brush just moves it around, and with a brush you can be left with too much product when you're done. With a Beauty Blender, if you really blend it in well, you're going to really work that product into the skin, so it's not going to move around. Okay, well, I kind of like this concealer. Get right in there a little bit. You guys, I really like this concealer. It does a really great job of covering and highlighting. And it tends to have like a natural finish. It doesn't look as shiny as the foundation does, but it's not really matte and dry looking either. I feel like it did blur my lines a bit. Yeah, I really like that concealer, I think. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to take whatever's just left on my hand, and I'm just going to go in the center of my face here and blend that out a bit. just to highlight and conceal a little bit more. I need to get my brows done. They're a little wild. Okay. Okay, so I have the concealer and the foundation on. I am not a fan of this foundation at all. I really feel the need to touch with a powder and mattify all the shine that's going on. I feel like my lines and my pores are actually more noticeable. I do like the concealer though, you guys. I think the concealer is really great. I am gonna set this with a little powder. Oh, I usually don't do that for foundation reviews, but I feel like this is a foundation that you would want to set with a powder anyway, right? Some foundations need to be set with a powder, others don't. For this one, I'm going to set it with a little bit of powder because that would be the only way that I could make this foundation work, and we're going to see if it'll even work that way. Yeah, I can already tell I do not like this though. Even if this doesn't get really, even if this foundation stays the way it looks right now and doesn't get shiny or move around more than it already has, I still don't like the way that it looks immediately after applying it. So I'm not a fan. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna apply the rest of my makeup and I'll be right back. Okay, you guys, so I've applied all of my makeup and I can say right here from the get-go that I am not a fan of this foundation. I don't even think that it looks good right now, and I just applied it. So I'm not gonna recommend this foundation. Maybe if you have really, really dry skin and you like a very glowy foundation, you might like this foundation, but I don't think that this really does what it says it does, which is supposed to blur your lines or smooth everything out, smooth out the texture in your skin. I actually think that it makes everything more noticeable. So, and it just feels sticky. Like now that I have it on, it actually feels sticky to the touch. It's not comfortable on. I don't like it. So I'm gonna give this foundation 2 thumbs down. This is definitely not a foundation that I would recommend. I don't know who would like this. It doesn't even feel good on the skin. It feels really sticky and tacky on the skin. I feel like it just magnifies everything. It doesn't blur it and smooth it out like it's supposed to. Even if you have really dry skin and you like a foundation that's really glowy and really hydrating like this, I just feel like it's gonna, you might like the way that it feels, but it's gonna make all of the texture in your skin look more obvious. So I don't know that you would like that. That's my opinion. The concealer, on the other hand, I do like. I do like the concealer, and I am interested to see how it wears throughout the day and see if it fades or if it creases. Right now, I have to say the coverage is really great. It has a nice set, and I really like the applicator on it. It's smaller and more easily controllable than the Age Rewind concealer, which is another one of my favorites. So I am going to keep the concealer in my purse. The foundation, no. I'm going to give this away. I don't know who will want it, but somebody is going to get it because I don't want it. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this video was helpful. I hope this saves you some money if you were considering purchasing this foundation. As always, thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.